But Zaka does come in with that Lions thing. Does mean that we have an extra 10 seconds in the power here, trying to make a play along the TNL wall. Now seeing our survivor off in the distance. Not going to be able to get the flick here at the L. Now going to be able to get the down on one survivor. We had an idea of where the ace was. Wouldn't be surprised to see Zaka at least try and go back and check that. That's actually going to be generator number 5. Hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube, and let's get ready for another trip here back into the fog, again with some more Blood Moon League action. And if you've watched any competitive DBD here recently in the NA EU scene, you've probably heard about Team Eternal and this absolute tear that they've been on. I think it's like 5 or 6 tournament wins here in a row, which has caused us to coin the phrase Eternal doing eternal things, and we do use that phrase often, which is why we were very surprised to see Eternal push to the limit against a new team like Akazia here in group play. So today we're going to be getting started off with one of my personal favorites when it comes to competitive DBD, especially when it includes Team Eternal. That's going to be the Oni on the Cold Tower. Then we're going to be staying on the Cold Tower actually for set number 2 for the Nurse. And then the tiebreaker will be the Ghostface on Larry's Memorials Institute. Don't forget every like, comment, share. That all helps us out with that good old YouTube algorithm. Puts our content in front of more people as we do chase down 500 subscribers here on the channel. So don't forget to make sure you've smacked that button down below and then tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. All right, now let's go ahead and get down to business here. Let's get into some Eternal versus Akazia. And until we do meet y'all back over here for the next video, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all, it's your boy Q signing out. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip here back into the fog, getting our day started off on the Cold Tower here. We do see our Oni already getting things started, breaking up this top side. You're gonna try and break up this main building. Of course, it can be a relatively strong loop. It does look like we spawn in here with that corrupt on that kind of typical 3 top side here. We do see Zaka trying to push on up, see if we can find ourselves an early engagement. Wouldn't be surprised to see our survivors here potentially even try and wait out this corrupt, trying to deprive them at least the first hit. The only problem is if you do that, you're delaying, of course, the objective you're trying to do before even getting out the doors, right?
Yeah, it is going to be so important to get that first hit as quick as possible, and Zaka seems to be in a very good spot here. That is a very early one onto our Claudette. She's returning here to drop the pallet. Brutal Strength is coming in, so this is going to be a little bit of a mind game now. Double vault by the Claudette, beautifully forced by Zaki, and that's a very nice first down, especially since this down is achieved without even using the power. So you have gone for it, and now you still have your power for the mobility. But Akazia answering really quickly here with the generator in just 80 seconds.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the first one done. They're going to be seeing about 10 seconds left here on the corrupt at about the time we do get this hook here at this point in the basement. Of course, the basement being underneath the 3-gen, going to be relatively important. We do see, though, our survivors, as you had mentioned, not only got the 1, now a 2nd-gen done. And a good job making sure that you're not taking all of the 1 all the way across the map. Would really like to break up this one that's over kind of on the middle left, or what our competitive players would like to call 9 over here. That way you can at least start to break up this 3-gen up here. But we're going to be seeing, I like this play from Zaka. You had mentioned maybe using the power to put pressure onto some other gens, but I think noticing that we still have this gen setup up here really can just kind of vibe with this pressure, force a 2nd stage, and maybe even secure it down here.
If this is going to end down, I feel like we do need the save from the basement there, because otherwise this is going to be really tough. Zaka will also have quite some time to go back towards the main building. He's doing that. The Anok is coming through, but it might be a little bit too late. He is on the staircase already. There's the Claudette. She will not be able to move that far away here. This is going to be a little bit of a waiting game on this pallet. It's going to be dropped now. Nice patience, though, by our Claudette here with the triple vault as well. Into not a down here, actually. She's going to stay alive. Really, really nice move by the Claudette, especially under this pressure. She is going down now, but They have picked up the survivor that was just slugged there on the right side. They've taken out a second generator as well. So far, it doesn't look too bad for our survivor team here.
Yeah, our survivors are definitely putting a lot of pressure here. We see the firecracker trying to distract on the way towards the basement here, but Zaka being so close to the basement here, and with knowing that you at least already have one survivor injured, you're not going to be sending survivors to the basement to take a hit against an Oni. This is going to be a basement hook here for hook number 2. Not just a hook, but I mean, they have nicknames for that back hook. I'm not going to say them on stream, but that is going to be one that is harder to retrieve from here at this point. So that's going to make that whole process last a little bit longer. Right now, Nia's in a position. Do I heal? Do I try and prioritize gens? And right now, Ace, Fang, do I try and prioritize gen, or do we need to probably move in together for the save? So it's going to be interesting to see what our survivors do.
I think the tough choice here with Barrymore in the basement is, do you have enough value out of your generators, enough efficiency right now to potentially sacrifice your teammate? And that is going to be difficult, right? Because Zaka managed to have 2 deadman switch applied on the generators close by here. So the death would come through with not that much gen pressure, maybe on the bottom side, but this would also be gen pressure that is not really contributing towards the setup we have on the top side here. We do see a few survivors lurking close by for the save, but they would need to rotate in right now, and I don't see that happening yet. The distance generator is lost, but I don't think Zaka is going to worry too much, and Barrymore now dying in the basement. They're forcing the 3v1 with 2 generators and a beautifully prepared 3-gen on the top side. That's going to apply quite some struggle here.
No, not a 3-gen. Look at this 4-gen. This one here at 9, you have the 3-gen and just in this corner, plus the one in the opposite side of the corner as well. Right now, Zaka really has the opportunity to vibe. The only thing I'm worried about, though, this generator over there at that top right, kind of what a lot of our comp players would kind of call like that 1 area over there. We also saw that that generator got covered up by the dead man switch earlier, and we'd seen a survivor kind of coming back and forth over there. That generator has similar pressure to this one. If our survivors finish that one first, it truly locks them into that super tight 3-gen up in that top left-hand corner of the map.
Now going to be Zaka with the next power, so mobility and a lot of danger coming out here. The survivors need to be really careful now. They need to make sure that they are going in time towards the bottom side here, because another down towards the main building is not something you can hand out here. We do see the dry kick coming in, and you mentioned it, right? Not only Zaka in a position where he could give up another generator and still have a good triangle here. The one on the left side, top left side, and the main building is actually a really beautiful triangle there as well. So Zaka played this really well by keeping the survivors towards the top side, getting that basement hook, and the reset here is a very good decision. And I think we can tell that the game is now going to slow down quite a lot.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of typical for what we've seen a lot recently in the Oni, right? If you get the early elimination, the biggest thing you want to at least make sure you do is you give yourself one portion of the map that you can retreat to for those resets, because it does force Zaka into that decision. Even here, while we're holding onto the power, do I hold onto the power? Do I use it to patrol in my different 4-gen to make sure that I don't lose this? Or do I try and push up into the top side to get a hook, which would then get myself a hook survivor over away from my 4-gen, require a survivor to move away from the 4-gen to get the hook, and concurrent, of course, reset, which is time away from the generators itself. So Zaka has a lot of decisions, but also a lot of options, because you've gotten the early elimination. It doesn't even sound like that generator over here at like the middle left, I don't think it's gotten touched since it got kicked a while ago. So that thing's regressing still.
Might be that Akazia is trying to really set themselves up on the left and right side, and whenever Zaka is moving away, trying to get a little bit of percentage into these generators. They need to make sure that they are not spotted too early when they attack these generators, and that they're also leaving in time. But Zaka seems to be really confident here. He knows that he has quite some chase time also, because the generators are all towards the 0 mark, and Ace tried a nice attempt to fake the window on the CNL. It's not going to work out though. So this is a relatively quick down, and exactly that is happening. What we said shouldn't be the case. The survivor will be carried towards the top side once again here, closer to the main building. And now you have a hook stage here. 2 survivors that can repair the generators. One of them will be forced to save the teammate very soon, and they are doing a good move here, getting that done really quickly. The power is back, but this is a chance to recover once again.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see here because I mean you've only really surrendered one one injured state. Now as Zaka does go in, oh, unfortunately though, we are going to be finding the Fang kind of caught out of position on the opposite side of this TNL. We are going to be seeing a very quick pickup, and this is going to be that situation I was talking about right now. You got a hook survivor very far away from the 4-gen, going to require a survivor to have to come away. Oh, and now we've got an ace here. This is the injured survivor as well. This could spell trouble here. This is actually going to give Zaka, though, a little bit of extra information. We see a nice little savings account of these blood orbs back here. So now Zaka's actually got another use of that power here, armed and ready to go. Going to be really interested to see what he does with that here.
And this is going to be the next power for this survivor here. The Vault coming out near. A little bit too confident there. She's running down towards the bottom side, but it's in the open, and therefore it's really, really difficult. And now we do see that Zaka is getting the next hook stage in. Hook stage number 6 is coming out here. Blood around as well. Cold Tower turned into a blood bank, we could say. The power is around quite some time, and this is the difficult thing about the Oni, right? Because our survivor team here is doing the right ideas and the right plays and right attempts to recover from the difficult situation, and we have to say that the pressure Zaka is applied, they are still standing here and they are doing quite some good job. The issue is, I feel like, is that Zaka is too prepared for this mid game. He has a lot of blood, he has a lot of pressure and a lot of control over these generators, and that's going to be really difficult to break.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see here. I mean, we start pushing one survivor up a little bit kind of way, instead just using a little bit of our power here to come back in, double check. Oh, and then we actually see, yeah, right here, possibly trying to go for the balanced landing, not going to be able to build much distance. That is going to get down over here by this generator. You can hear this thing rocking, sitting around 75-ish, a little bit short of that or so. Now going to be having a hook survivor in the middle of, or kind of really more in front of your 4-gen, but in the middle of the map here for sure. So, I mean, Zaka really feeling good. Now you're going to have to not worry about that generator across the way there. Thanks to that dead man switch here for a good another couple of seconds. And you've got the power armed and ready to go again. Zaka in so much control right now.
It's really, really strong to see how Zaka managed to make this generator setup work for himself here. Great patience and confidence by our ace, throwing the pallet last second here, and he manages to stay alive a little bit longer. That's going to be some time for the unhook here. Unfortunately, he is going down. That's going to be hook stage number 8. Coming out soon, and Zaka on a run here now, really, really confident. We can see that building up over the trial. Deadman switch applying as well with the pressure from the power here. Mind game at the TNL, the survivor holding W, correct reading, but not finding the down here. But we can really see how Zaka is gaining confidence and confidence over the course of this trial here. Now he's leaving the survivor to make sure that not a single additional generator will go will be completed here. Our survivor injured quite in the open. It's going to be difficult. They do get the pickup on the other side, but we do get a slug over here. Now that's going to be the pickup into hook stage number 7. So Zaka honestly playing this really, really perfectly.
Now we're going to be seeing here, I mean, this is going to be a hook right back in the middle of our map here. This is going to be now a second hook on to this survivor. Oh man, this is going to be tough. I mean, it's interesting to see our survivors. I mean, I understand needing to break up the 4. You would like to at least get one of these 2 gens, if not both, obviously, start working the doors, but to at least set your killer up in a little bit of a better position. But I also can't help but wonder with the not resetting, right? Then means that these chases then can't last as long unless we're obviously talking about them being in power, but we're just leaving blood orbs around everywhere. It's giving Zaka so much use of this power that he's been really able to punish our survivors with. I just can't help but wonder if resetting might be the option here.
Yeah, this is one thing we have mentioned before, right? Akazia here, I feel like from how they are playing the survivor side, from the theory, from their game plan, and from their understanding and awareness for the situation, they are doing a really, really good job. And they have managed something a lot of survivor teams can't do against Akazia Oni, and that is being really, really long alive and still pressuring the generators, still trying to force him towards the bottom side and still attacking it. So what we can see from the gameplay from Akazia here, it's really, really good, and they are doing absolute phenomenal decision making here. The issue is just that Zaka is not giving them enough time and enough space to really punish him, but they do get another generator here.
That's good.
I think that's a really, really big move from how they are fighting here. I really, really like what I see from them right now.
Yeah, especially because Zaka, not only just Zaka is known as kind of like a killer known just for the game sense on the micro and macro sense, but especially when we talk about on the Oni in particular, right? So to be able to fight back against the early elimination, showing the patience, showing the ability to really be able to communicate and kind of take advantage of the little bit of room that Zaka continues to give them. I mean, we hear this generator's a knocking just about ready to get to pop, and we do see though Ace is going to go ahead and shift W-Tech all the way back here towards the opposite side of the map. Might not be surprised to see how the other survivor try and move in and finish that thing, but we are going to be seeing this stun. Does cause Zaka to break that pallet, prolongs this chase just a little bit, but Zaka does come in with that Lions thing. Does mean that we have an extra 10 seconds in the power here, trying to make a play along the TNL wall. Now seeing our survivor off in the distance, not going to be able to get the flick here at the L. Now going to be able to get the down on one survivor. We had an idea of where the Ace was. Wouldn't be surprised to see Zaka at least try and go back and check that. That's actually going to be generator number 5. Even though this does result in a probable 4K, unless there's an unbreakable in play here, you at least get the 5th gen done. That is absolutely huge for our survivors.
This is something, and this is totally independent from the score and how this is looking with the 28 for Eternal and 10 for our survivor team here, but this was a really, really perfect, picture-perfect example why you never give up in your match. They lost their survivor on 2 generators still in the trial, and Zaka had, well, a lot of people would say, the perfect coal tower 4-gen setup on the top side. There was so much blood in the trial, he had the power so often, and all what I just listed is a huge compliment towards Zaka because he played this really, really perfectly. But looking onto our survivor team, getting both generators out with these conditions against one of the best killers out there right now was an absolute phenomenal performance, and this is something what we really have to give credit to our survivor team from Akazia here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you mentioned it. I think it's really big distress and big hats off to Akazia here. You talked about the early sacrifice there. What was it? They had the sacrifice, was it before the 3rd gen pop or right around the 3rd gen pop, right? You were pretty well stuck into that 4th gen on the top side. And when the top side was locked in, not even too much pressure on the 2 gens that they inevitably ended up popping. So to be able to just fight through that all in a 3v1 situation really gets me excited for the next time we see these survivors out. Also excited to see what kind of momentum this killer might be able to bring out, because right now you've got Eternal only at a score of 28-10 because you're able to fight back, get those 10 points. So that means now our Eternal survivors need to get stages out, right?
Yeah, Eternal will need an escape, and this always gives your killers some opportunities. No one escapes death, no way out, last second slugging. Everything is possible now, and they do need the outs, and sometimes that's easier said than done, even for Team Eternal. Therefore, we are going to find out in Trial 2 after a quick break. Welcome back, everybody, to the second trial. Akazia now on the killer's side, and they do need some kind of a wonder in order to make a turn here against Eternal, but we have mentioned it, Eternal needs some stages out of the door here, so there's the chance to pull something in the end game. I do think the No Way Out is a very confident choice here, given that Eternal is casually 0 and 1 staging Oni's left and right there, but I do like the confidence at the same time, together with the brutal strength here, getting the resources out of the game as quick as possible. So one pallet removed, the survivors are taking it really carefully here. The Hex Ruin is removed, but Nightlight almost running into the killer here. That might be a quick hit.
Yeah, and there it is right there. Going to be our first M1 coming across. Going to be seeing that's very, very early for Eternal. Also for even Nightlight as well. Going to be caught now moving into the corrupt side of the map, which is definitely where you do want to take this chase, especially now that you are injured. Now that you're injured, it is going to put a little bit more pressure on the rest of your survivors to make sure that they push up into that uncorrupt side of the map, really start cranking these gens. Might not be surprised to see Nightlight start throwing all of these pallets back here with Reckless Abandon. Just make sure you buy as many gens as you can out of this first chase. Probably at least going to be seeing this one getting thrown here at this point. We're going to be actually seeing a nice little mind game, and without bringing in the splintered hole, we are actually bringing in the Keto's crutch, already ready to go with that power here.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job here, forcing Nightlight into getting that first hit early. The Vault coming out, but the double Vault by Nightlight. Good answer here by the former captain of Agony, now on Eternal Survivor roster. He's rotating over into the main building here, and she shouldn't make that window yet, just in time there. Good run now by Nightlight and making sure that Eternal is getting 2 generators done already, with a third one potentially coming out here very, very soon.
RBC, able to get the down here with a very nice hit at this point. The question is, how much are you going to be able to compound down? The good thing is you got it down early, right? So you'll notice in that bottom left-hand corner, and by mean early, I mean early into your power use. So we are going to be able to get that power use back relatively quickly here. We do find a survivor over at this. Happened to fall right back into the killer's face. Wasn't able to capitalize. Able to get the down here now, though, on to Nightlight. This is big. You've got 2 survivors down right next to one another. Now you kind of put your survivors in this question of when do we go to save? And it looks like Nightlight here actually going to be going into the basement. This is a huge hook for Wonder here.
This is an absolutely huge hook. This is kind of the same condition we've seen before. A little bit later here for Akazia, but the killer is playing this really, really perfect. We have this triangle setup here as well, and I believe we have one on the top left, so it's almost the exact same trial we have seen before, so we can really test these teams, who's going to play this mid-game battle here. If Eternal is able to find an escape, we do remove another pallet that might be big for the end game, because keep in mind, even though all generators are being completed, our killer could still just force the tie and run it back here. So this is going to be Wonder now working around the shack, and the survivor here with a flashbang coming out. Really, really nice move. And now trying to use the shack, and this is now quite some time being taken from the killer, unfortunately on the wrong side of the map, so I do expect the gen setup being broken very soon.
Yeah, you would imagine with this much time back here at shack here, we're probably going to be seeing at least one. Honestly, we might even see here from Eternal to get these last 2 crushed out here. We are going to be seeing at least a reset coming across on the Nightlight there, as we do also get another fresh hook back here. Now, kind of like we had talked about last trial, right? With this hook being all the way back here towards shack, it will require one of these 3 survivors to have to pull away from the 4-gen. Might buy Wonder just enough space here to pull a little bit of this pressure back. Also, you had mentioned the no way out that we did bring into the trial. We've already gotten 3 fresh hooks. Oh my goodness, though. That's going to be generator number 4. We hear this generator up here, up at top left. That thing's a rocking, just ready to get the pop. And well, I'm not too sure if we have somebody in the shadows that's going to pop this thing as soon as Wonder leaves away from here, but I am pretty sure that thing's going to be popping here at least in the next minute or 2.
Yeah, they will have generator number 5. But a nice one onto Royalty here. Nice down. Right? That's going to be another fresh hook. Yeah, and hook stage number 4 coming in. And remember, with the Oni, everything can switch really quickly. So one more power towards the end game here. A few nice downs and slugs, and Royalty going into the basement here as well. 4 hook stages so far. We do see also 4 stacks on No Way Out, and this would be the tie condition, right? You can just go for the tie, run it back, play the Oni set again here. That would work for you. And there's the next power. If he gets another down here, he might be able to pull that.
Yeah, this is that potential, that snowball that you had talked about, right? Oni really kind of, if you think about it, really second to none with the duration of this power here, and it just kind of leave people slugged all the way around without really needing a cooldown for the duration here, especially since you do bring in the Lion's Fang add-on. That does give you an additional 10 seconds in that duration. We're going to be seen using that to try and come back here for the unhook, trying to use the body block here onto Royalty. Royalty, you're going to try and double back around and at least try and force the grab out of the locker here. Of course, Royalty being the survivor that was just up on the shoulders. That is not going to be a decisive strike, though. It does buy enough time for generator number 5 to get complete, however, as we do see Royalty going up here on a hook.
Royalty now on a hook. One more stage until the elimination. We do see 3 survivors being around. One of them saving Royalty there in the back. It's going to be tough here. The pallet is leaving the trial as well. More blood is needed. We need another power here to make a huge turn. There's a few blood pools around the main building. That should be enough to get the power. There's Royalty. That's also going to be now the power. And this one is really, really important. No way out. Expired by 50%. Some seconds left here. We need a slug play. We need some pressure on the survivor team. Then Wonder can make it happen here into the one. But Nightlight finding a pallet and a stun. That's going to be really huge here for the survivor side of Team Eternal. The vault being forced, but unfortunately Wonder being stuck and Nightlight winning these mind games in the midsection here. The pallet needs to be removed. More seconds being taken. 10 until the exit gates can be prepared here. Nightlight still on a wonderful run here around the main building. The flag is finding its target though, but the exit doors can be prepared. One stage out of the door will be enough, so the slug is coming through, but you would need 3 more downs here. That's going to be really difficult. Not finding this one either, so Eternal about to take set number 1.
Yeah, this is going to be huge here. I mean, especially you do get another down here at this point. So you get the question is, how as far progressed is the other door? We do see that Nightlight is off the ground. We do see now getting this survivor up onto the shoulders. There's the flashlight. There is absolutely no way Eternal gets 4 people out the door here. We're going to be seeing Wonder holding their way across the map. No use of the power here. And I think we might be seeing all 4 survivors get out here. Oh no, we're at least getting 1.
This is Eternal doing Eternal things again. So this is just really, really strong here. Royalty staying in the trial though. So this is going to be 1 elimination. A killer from Akazia that was really picking up the survivor performance, because 6 stages also, and putting Eternal under quite some pressure in the mid game is still an impressive performance that we haven't seen from a lot of killer against this team. So Eternal will take set number 1 here with a clear score difference, but in the trial we have actually a lot of reasons why Akazia can be really, really proud.
Yeah, I think with Akazia being able to come out here on Eternal's pick, and we had talked about, right, like you're coming out and you're picking a pick that's going to be confident for Eternal, now up 1-0. But I would imagine even just this result, and we're talking even still a 44-26 result, is going to be enough to have Eternal on their back foot here, right? So now going to be interesting here as far as what our killer can do in this, like in between this next trial. I'm not sure if it's going to be Wonder or not. And what's going to be interesting as well is to see how these first couple chases go for Eternal. I feel like in this next trial here, it's going to be really interesting to see also as far as for Akazia's killer, since they are currently down 0-1 in a best of 3 set series. So we're going to be moving on. We're actually going to be back on the cold tower here. It looks like back for the Nurse here for set number 2. And we'll be bringing that here between Eternal and Akazia after a very quick break. Number 2 here between Akazia and Eternal, and we are going to be seeing a early tag here from our Nurse here from Akazia. The question is, how quickly can we turn this into a down? Actually, instead of turning this into a down, we're going to spread pressure here. That's now going to be 2 tags. That means 10% slowdown. Anybody currently working on a generator, thanks to that Thananophobia. And I'm looking down here in the bottom right-hand corner of my screen, Dyer, and I just can't help but wait for things to get spicy a little bit.
Absolutely. Dragon's Grip in competitive Dead by Daylight is something we haven't seen that often, and I'm really, really excited for that and how he is going to play that. We are starting this off with a very, very nice basement hook. That's going to be huge already. And now Dragon's Grip is going to be really powerful, right? Because when you're close to the basement and a survivor is going to touch these generators, they are going to be really, really in trouble. And this is going to come up right here. Dragon's Grip activated on the generator. We do see the Corrupt Intervention guarding the 3-gen here on the top side. There it is now. The survivor touched it, but our killer will keep an eye before on the survivor that just got unhooked for the tunnel out. Is that going to be the case? But they vanished kinda, and they take a lot of time from our killer now.
Yeah, this is going to be big, of course. You know, right now you were kind of allotted a little bit of extra time here with the very early down. Now you can follow it up with another down on to Nightlight here. Now the question is, how much more pressure can you build? Not going to be able to at least use another bit of Dragon's Grip quite yet, thanks to the cooldown, but it is going to give you another use of that Pop Goes the Weasel. 25% instant regression. We do see that first generator getting popped here, but right now, anybody working on a gen, 15% slowdown, thanks to that Bananaphobia as well. Right now, our killer doing a phenomenal job, especially with this hook being in between a 4-gen.
Yeah, so far he's keeping up a very, very nice setup here on the top side. We do see one survivor being injured. A reset just came in across the way here. Dragon's Grip still, even if he never gets an actual down out of Dragon's Grip, it still has some value, right? Because the survivors really need to watch out. They need to leave earlier as soon as he's trying to push the survivor away from a generator. But what Eternal is doing really good so far is these perfectly timed unhooks. Whenever the killer is going away a bit too far, they're right there for the rescue and doing that really, really well here. Now it's going to be tough for the killer. We haven't had a survivor in chase for quite some time here. Eternal might punish that.
Yeah, it's interesting to see maybe even Eternal trying to kind of purposefully just kind of play a little bit more immersive. Sometimes we tend to see them pre-leaving gens and kind of trying to take killers for a run. Maybe in this case, they've just been trying to play a little bit more immersive, though. Now finding a survivor by this generator up at the top left. What a lot of our competitive players like to call 11, going to be taking chase all the way across the top side here, though, away from that gen that had a whole lot of pressure. Right now, I'm sure this survivor is going to call out that that gen got kicked, but if anybody touches it right now, it does have the Dragon's Grip, so might allow for just a little bit of additional regression without needing a Pop Goes the Weasel.
Trying to get the tag onto this survivor here. Our killer losing a little bit the grab of Eternal's survivor team. It was really on point in the early game. Now not finding the down here once again, unfortunately for our killer, because the seconds are ticking down in favor of Eternal. The next struggle coming out. Double Blink not finding the target here. This one has a lot of progress here as well. He's trying to find the tag, not able to. Eternal starting to shine in the mid game here. The tags on the survivor teams are not coming through anymore. It takes too long for our killer to apply the downs. So if Eternal can keep this up a little bit longer, we might actually lose a couple of generators here.
Yeah, this is big here because now at this point you've only got the ace that's injured. There's going to be generator number 2 getting popped. We know we've walked by a couple of other generators that have quite a bit of pressure. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see a third, maybe even a fourth getting popped relatively soon. We see that this is going to be Royalty, I believe that was, now going to be moving more towards the middle of the map. Actually, that's the ace getting caught, rotated back a little bit more from Shaq. I think unfortunately out of position because that was Royalty. I believe we were originally trying to track there, but this is now going to be a hook in the middle of the map, is kind of more back towards Shaq, but it is another fresh hook here.
And this is now going to be it's difficult for our killer, right? Because we still need another down really quickly here. Because Dan is kind of hooked towards the bottom side. That's not where you're trying to aim here. There's a generator as well. You still have some generators on the top side. Really, really good keep of the setup so far. But this Dragon's Grip might be the game-changing moment if this is going to be a survivor down on the top side, and it is going to be Zaka here on the Adam. So our survivor team also rotating around the survivors a little bit to throw the killer off. Interesting to see this strategy coming out. But if Zake would take the down here, that would be huge. Unfortunately, once again, holding W out of the area is going to be successful in time, as our killer is not straight up on Zake's tail here. So Eternal still with the control over the match, and that pushes the pressure kind of towards the end game.
Yeah, especially because right now, I mean, when we talk about kind of average stage kind of performance, you were kind of expecting to have more stages before moving into the end game. Swing and miss, gets done stupid. Plus Deadwood added to the base here. Now going to be able to build a little bit of distance. That is going to be a down at this point, but that should allow our other survivors, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, especially with those doors being so far away, you just take the 3 all day long, and that's going to be a really solid performance as far as from our survivors.
Once again, Eternal with a phenomenal performance against a Nurse here, and I wouldn't even be surprised, knowing Eternal, if they try to pull this survivor once again, just as we've seen it in the Oni set. I feel like any team would just take the 3 out here and would be really happy. Eternal might come back and pull something crazy. Will come down to the question if we see a reset onto the ace here, and this is going to be the case. Q, they might come back here.
I don't know, man. Like, I understand wanting to kind of put extra, like, this is one of those situations where you can put extra pressure onto these survivors coming out right now from Akazia, knowing that they really, like, Akazia is in the situation where they need to make a statement to try and get out of the group stage, right? It does look like, though, they wanted to kind of see maybe if there'd be a quick mistake made. None happens to be made. You take the 3 there, and that is a very solid performance that we're going to be seeing here from Eternal.
Once again, a very impressive performance here. The 5 stages coming out on the side of Eternal's Survivor team, and Akazia here under quite some pressure. You mentioned it, they do have to pull a very strong one. Eternal is taking 17 points here. Akazia is going to take 13 points. So Eternal actually with a lead after a Nurse set. That's not what we see that often here. So beautiful trial 3 from the side of Eternal. We are going to find out how Akazia is playing that, and we're going to show you that after a short break.
Generator pop, and when we talk about only needing to acquire around 6 of them things, right now going to be looking really good. Now actually going to be taking this hook, rotating it to the middle of your map. You're going to have free range to kind of check around, decide which direction do you want to decide to put pressure on. We're checking over on this left side of this map over here, kind of where a lot of people call the 9. Not too much pressure over here, but we are going to be seeing 25% instant regression. Pretty well knocks that thing down to 0.
Trying to catch these rescuers, the survivors lurking around, potentially the ace here, because Nia and Claudette need to be really careful. Now a down next to the hooked survivor might be really bad, but ace is being located as well. Now everyone injured, 20% slowdown from Thanatophobia. Next down coming in onto Barrymore. The Hex Ruin is removed, yeah, but still Nightlight with so much pressure here onto the survivor team. They do get a generator out right here, so this is going to get the thing started a little bit. But if Nightlight gets the next down quickly, or Barrymore is going to be hooked sooner than the rescuer for them being caught, Ace once again being injured. Nightlight is quicker than I can cast Q.
Yeah, Nightlight just really on a roll here. We're going to see a second stage 4 is going to be seeing a survivor over here. Now finding themselves in the dirt here. Now actually going to even see Nightlight says, nah, I'm not even worried about this hook just quite yet. Actually double checking, making sure no one's going in for the hook. We do see Ace getting reset. Not sure if that's from the Nia healing or if Ace is resetting themselves here, but man, Nightlight in so much control, and honestly has just been showing a really good game sense too, right? Always seems to find these survivors, always seems to have the right decision and the whereabouts of where to go, has the right strategy. Now going to be finding an, oh, that's a borrowed time hit, but that is a hit real quick here onto the Felix.
It's now going to be the blink towards the hill, getting some overview before picking up our survivor here. Nightlight close to the win condition. One more after this, and he's going to take the win home for Team Eternal with a 2-0 here. But the question is, how is Eternal going to push themselves forward here, maybe with a very, very nice 4K. And for Akazia, we've seen them really fighting, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to counter this pressure by Nightlight here and put up something really, really impressive in response.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, we see them trying to put a game plan together, it seems like, but I mean, right now it just seems that Nightlight has so much control. And what at this point we're at, they have to get the save here, right? Or if you allow the elimination, then that has to be the perfect game from there. Oh, the elimination is over here then. Yeah, so I mean, a tough situation to be in, especially because two with the banana both be on top, right? Even if you were trying full send on gens for at least a little bit, that's buying you even more additional pressure here. So, I mean, Akazia's shown us a lot of fight, but at the risk of sounding like we use the term way too often, it's just Eternal doing Eternal things right now.
Yeah, Eternal doing Eternal things might be the most used quote in the world back in 2022 DBD here, but you're right, they are just on point on both sides. They are really, really strong, and this is going to be now the down here onto this Suave. In the meanwhile, we do see a pickup over there, so Akazia is doing everything to keep up with the pressure Nightlight is putting down, but he's not giving them time. He's not giving them any space. This is now the next hook stage coming in, 7 already, so Eternal definitely will win here, and the 2 of Akazia now trying to knock out some generators here in order to go for a few points, because the points can matter in the group stage to be the top 2 in your group. Nightlight locating the next survivor though. This might end in a 4K very soon here.
Yeah, that's at least the benefit for you when you see the draw of having Eternal in the group plays. At least you know everybody else in the group plays Eternal too, right? So right now, you mentioned it, every point really could be beneficial when we talk about trying to get out of the group stage and into that elimination stage. And, you know, with the fight that we've been seeing from Akazia, wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a second gen. But, I mean, honestly, with just this role that Nightlight's been on, and I'd like to see this performance from Eternal, too, because we talked about they've been on this run here from tournament after tournament. Instead of coming into this trial and just being like, hey, I just need 6 stages, let me just come in and vibe. Instead, Nightlight coming in, all gas, no brakes.
Absolutely impressive what Nightlight is putting up here. I would hope for Akazia that they get another generator out here, because as mentioned, points really matter for the group stage to achieve the top 2 here if you're tied with another team. And it would also suit the performance from Akazia until Trial 4 that they do get more generators out of the way here. This is now going to be a little bit of space for our Survivor team. A little bit of time has been lost by Nightlight here, so Nia may be working on a generator there far away towards the bottom side. Nightlight blinking towards the top right, trying to check if a survivor is working over here. That is going to be the case. Edge map chase into a quick down. No, nice double back here from the survivor, so Ace might get hands onto the objectives here, or trying to pull an end game play.
Yeah, I think the end game play here is probably your best bet. Gives you your biggest point swing, because we talked about those points being very, very valuable. But you'll see here Nightlight not even worrying about that. Instead, gonna go ahead and leave the slug up here on the top side. See if we can locate the Ace, even though Ace has that a little bit of kind of subtly known, you know, built-in iron roll, but that's fine. We'll find him regardless here. But man, just again, it's interesting to talk about again and point out. I don't want to feel like I'm talking too much about Eternal here, but with you talk about coming in here in group stage and just being able to continue to show like that laser sharp focus has to have everybody else in the tournament really worried about getting into the elimination stages when you know they're going to be on top of their game, right?
Yeah, Eternal is going to be a very dangerous opponent there, and this also forces teams to go for the highest possible score in the group stage, because the seeding for the main stage will be done after group stage is over, simply by set wins, points, all of that. So the seeding for main stage is going to be important, and Eternal will definitely be quite at the top of that seeding, so you want as many points for yourself. Ace taking the down here, that leaves Nia with the choice, generator or end game play here towards the end of Trial 4. This generator here actually quite some progress and a good efficiency by Akazia. Now Nightlight going back towards the top side. He wants near before another generator is being completed. And I think for Eternal, that would be also a very impressive way to end.
Yeah, you would definitely love with the nice exclamation mark here. You know, already going to be able to finish things up in a 2-0 fashion, but to be able to go from, you know, getting three people out the door on the Nurse, right?
Yeah,
or was that on the Oni? I was trying to remember right.
No, there
regardless,
three.
They got 3 out on the Nurse, and then you turn that into getting the 4K before a second gen pops. Like that's impressive.
That's Eternal doing Eternal things.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
There we are back on it, but Nia is doing a really good hiding here, and that makes me believe they are trying to set up an end game play here and take the points for the escape. And Ace will try to force some pressure onto Nightlight by bleeding out there. 2 minutes remaining on the timer. He might try to find a good... it's going to be really tough here. Nia now being located, so this might end really, really soon here.
Yeah, it looks like here we're just more a matter of just, you know, the formalities here. Right now, I'm going to be seeing the second blink. Here's the down. And, now we're going to be seeing here, moving into across the way here. You want to make sure you don't lose your slugs is the only thing. I mean, we've got plenty of time on our... we've got plenty of time left on our bleed out timers here, so we do have that option here. But we're gonna see kind of moving around. We're back at this shack. Oh yeah, there we are. Oh, all right. Oh, we tried blending in right there at the corner. Now gonna be at least securing here. Now just gonna have to go back away and be at 4K at 4 gens complete. Just absolutely amazing.
And yeah, I've just been informed that I'm not gonna go into that. This is the issue when you have 10 minutes delayed. I just got informed that potentially our producer was in the match is being set up screen the entire time, so they heard the game without any gameplay, which is a big reason for us to apologize. We have a new producer. No, there it is. Everything is fine. They're switching. Everything is fine, Q. We are in the stream. They just missed 2 stages there. So we are fine. I just saw it on stream now. My heart rate can go down towards 0. Anyway, guys, we do apologize. Short context here. As you guys know, I'm living in the mountains because the state office for teachers sent me far away for a school. So I'm living in the absolute nowhere. I cannot stream anything. And we have some wonderful producers that are taking over for me, making this event possible. And due to the summer season also starting, we obviously need some additional producers that are taking over. And these guys need some training. So we have a new producer today. So bear with us, we are in the group stage, we are practicing, the players are practicing to deliver you the best event here, and we are trying